Okay. Let's see. We good? I think we're good. Hey, Vinit. Hello, hello. Your last few blog posts were really nice and had good depth. I enjoyed reading them. Well, thank you. Okay, let's get this stream started. See, are you based in the EU? Yes, I am. Hey there, Teufel. I am based in Europe, yes. Singapore, it's been a long time since I've been to Singapore. Would love to go back. But I think that to get back, I'm echoing. Test. I think you have two tabs open there, Teufel. You have like a second tab open somewhere, and that's what's causing your echo. Hey, Carrie Tam. Hey, Rocco Rager. Hello, everybody. Hello, hello. I would love to go back to Singapore, but I think that realistically speaking, not the only, but the most likely thing to bring me back to Singapore would be a Zig event organized there. Mobile Twitch app? Yeah. Well, hello, everybody. Oh, nice to see also uh, more than, the usual people that show up. Which is not to be ungrateful, obviously, but it's nice to also see some, change sometimes. So here's the plan for the day. We're going to implement page link ref to allow people to link to specific sections in a content page from a template. We use the same Oh My ZSH theme. We might be using the same theme, but this is definitely not Oh My ZSH. This is not ZSH. This is Fish. So I'm using Fish. The theme is One Dark, though. So I guess everybody who uses One Dark has the same general color scheme. Yeah, Fish is pretty good. I love it. Until somebody decides to make, a new super fancy shell written in Zig, maybe. But they need to, well, written in Zig is not enough to make it cool. So, hey, ballers. Have I tried new shell? I'm aware of it, but I never used it. I don't do much with my shell, so I understand that like everything being data and like being able to process stuff, cool. But I don't do much of that, so I don't feel a need. I could see myself doing more. I don't know, like a data wrangling oriented job, and then appreciating new shell. Can we go back? No. So this is done. This is done. Option superplugs is done. CI failed, that's fine. On a branch. Layout step fails on Windows with error. Failed to find parent section. That one is solved. Yeah. Add homebrew package support. That one is not exactly solved, but I just wanted to ask the author to submit the PR to homebrew themselves. So let's see what they end up doing. This one is one that we should tackle on Super HTML. Process usage, I think I replied to this one. Ooh, this one requires some follow-up work from me, so I have to decide when to do that. Maybe I'll do that today, we'll see. Ability to render naked HTML. Yeah, I think that was somebody who didn't understand what CTX is for. So yeah, this solved itself. Editor format on save is not respected. I think I'm not gonna interact. Like, I don't know. Oops, no, undo. That one I did care about. Fuck. Whoops. Git, give me an undo button. God fucking damn it. Too bad. They can't work on this anymore. Now they have to work on AI, so can make this stuff good anymore. Unfortunate, but what can you do? So maybe we should look at this panic. We can reply to this one. We can do the Git stuff. We can do the link ref stuff. The link ref stuff also has some kind of secondary thing to it. Oh, this one I did reply to. Like it's fulfilled. This one I need to reply to. Okay, I think that we kind of collected enough stuff to work on. So let's go do that. Let's start by implementing. So we want to implement link ref. So let's go do that. That one is actually super easy. Like page, basically. We already have content section. content section already concerns itself with a, like, we literally can copy this body and reuse 90% of it. So let's find link. Heading, heading. Link, there we go. Okay, we basically want to add another one next to it. Link ref. Okay, let's see. Okay, link ref. This should work though. I think we should be able to do dot question mark. Then yeah, we try to get what we call the section ID, which in this case is not the section ID, but it's just the element ID, not just a section necessarily. Here we go. Oh wait, what? We expect that thing to have a directive, and the directive to be a section directive. That is interesting. In our case, we definitely do not care. Okay, we definitely do not render anything. Do we care about what the directive is? Like, we want to get the directive, and we want to assert that it is present. I think we can assert that the directive has to be present always. We get the directive, but then no, we don't even care about the directive. We don't care about any of these things. All we care about is it in here or not? Like, we don't even need to actually get it. I think we can change this to contains. As. Oh god. No definition found. Okay, ZLS is not having a good time. I think that contains exists. Yeah, that's basically it. So if it doesn't contain the element, then we return an error. I don't know, something like this. And then what we're going to do is what we were doing here. Let's see. I guess we want to repeat the same logic. Meta rel path. Switch on whether it's a section or not. Team T, yo, hello. Hello. Just to double check that I'm not mixing you up with somebody else. Your team from Boston, right? Yep, that's me. Let's go. Ba-da-ba-da-ba-bum. So I'm doing join. This is so annoying because I'm doing join, but I would like to append there also the ID. There's no good way for me to do that. This code is so inefficient. I wish I could make it more efficient easily, but since it's not all that easy, I'm gonna be lazy and not do that now. So what I'm gonna do is, I guess, FMT stuff. This is not result unless you could print into the buff writer. Yeah, I could. The problem is that join doesn't print. Join allocates. It's not FMT friendly. I think the crux of the problem is that join is not FMT friendly. If join was FMT friendly, everything would be much easier. But alas, it's not. I could augment this to be the ID. The problem is that the ID needs to be prefixed with a pound sign. Maybe that's the easiest way forward. Yeah, maybe that's it. What's stopping you from using SS? Because these things have slashes in them, and I want join to smartly know when to insert a slash or not insert one because it's already present, or even deduplicate. If this ends with a slash and this begins with a slash, we want to deduplicate that. So join is doing for us a lot more than a simple format string. Basically, join would have to be reimplemented, maintaining its own internal logic mostly, but as something that formats, as a formatter, instead of something that allocates. That's it's a smart join and not std mem join. Yeah, it's std. Well, originally it was std fs path join. It's path join, and then I changed it because I didn't want to use the stdlib one, because on Windows we still want to use non-Windows slashes because they work on Windows, and actually mixing is bad. Long story short. There we go. I think this is it. I think we implemented link ref. Maybe let's try it out, but that's kind of it. There's still some more work to do with regards to this general stuff, but this is the starting point. So let's build the website. Let's see if we get a build error, a compile error of some kind. We totally do. Let's see. Expected tuple. Where did I not put a tuple? Over here. Ba-bum, ba-ba-bum. Well, there we go. Now we work. Let's use it somewhere, I guess. So our goal would be to be able to link some to a section somewhere. Let's see. Index. Maybe here collection. We can. Oh no, wait. That's not a Markdown thing. That's an HTML thing. So in index layout, title, make art with your words, get started button. Then there's the page content. Okay, before the page content, let's put another div. We do not give it an ID. An anchor in there. href equals side dot page. I don't know what here. What does here have? Oh, you know what? Maybe we could do current page. Is there anything that has an ID in the current page? Nothing. Oh, we can give it to it though. ID who? Okay, this should not work though because I'm giving an ID to something that isn't a section. So this should cause trouble. Actually, you know what? Let's do first the one that works. So let's make this a section. Oh, right, link ref. So it worked. What if I bungle the ID? I get an error. That's a good error. Link ref is giving us an error. Cannot find ID equals foo in the content page. Go back to foo, and now it works. Let's inspect foo. Foo looks correct. And it links to this thing because this thing has ID foo. Okay. So yeah, success. We did it. It works. Okay, now let's foo1. Right, let's reintroduce this. So foo is a build error. What about foo1? Who1 is not a build error. That is interesting. And actually correct. I thought that there was some more stuff missing. Okay, let's go to Discord because somebody I think mentioned an error of this kind. Oh, you know what? Maybe it was Mason. Okay, so we did this for sure, but I think Mason had a report that I think pointed at something else. So we have to do the date stuff for sure, but there's another one from Mason. Oh, there we go. False positive invalid ref for IDs on links. Oh, Jesus. Okay. He's trying to reference like the page itself. Okay, now I see what his problem is. He is trying to make a link in a content page of the content page itself. Jesus Christ. That's legitimate. That's totally legitimate. But okay, so that's definitely like a different use case that we need to account for in its own. Like it's a special case. It's not basic missing stuff. I originally thought that we were failing to record IDs given to things. For example, let's give an ID to this link. This should be an error. Yeah. Test. Oh, it doesn't find test though. That is interesting. So we've given an ID to something else, to a link, but the link doesn't show up. So this is like similar to what Mason was pointing out. Well, let's see. Did we save this? Yeah, we did. Okay. What now? Does this link have an ID then? Super MD. Inspect. Yeah, we totally give it an ID. So this is being processed correctly, but we're not doing the bookkeeping that remembers that that's an ID that now we can be referenced from the outside. So okay, so this is what I was getting at. This is what I thought I needed to fix. And this is also what I thought Mason had found, but Mason had found a different thing, related, but mechanically very different. So let's go fix this one. So we are processing an ID, but we are kind of forgetting to put it in our table of IDs. So this is a super MD thing. So let's change Zine to use local super MD. And then let's go into SuperMD. And in the AST, we have this hash map of IDs, and we fail to fill it out when we encounter an ID in certain situations. So let's take a look at let's take a look at analyze siblings, analyze block quote, analyze code block. Where's analyze directive? I am a little bit confused. We have set directive. Oh, we have run script. With a bunch of special casing. Nice. Wait, is run script not in here? Really? It is in here. Oh, wait. It's the wrong thing. Um, a set directive does this work? No, set directive is just a setter. The heck? Where are we doing the thing, for example, where we recognize the directive is of a special kind and then we do special things to it because it's of a special kind? You know what? Let's find all mentions of section. Well, there we go. Okay, this is where we're doing these things. Analyze siblings. Here we're analyzing on all inline elements, except block quote. But block quote is complicated. But all the other ones we're analyzing each little thing. And then if it's a link, we run the script. And if it is a section, we add not ourselves, not the link element, but we add the parent to the ID map. So I guess we basically want to do something also in the other ones. In kind of a similar fashion. Something like if the directive has an ID, then we put, I guess, the link node. In IDs. We also need to do something like something better than put. We need to do get or put so that we can complain whenever we have duplicate IDs. That's another improvement that we should make. But there's also some directives that have weird rules to them now that I think about it. Section is one where you want to put the parent. But I think there's more. I think there's also like the heading. Yeah. So there's a link node and then you want to do the parent. That should be the heading. Okay, let's do it like this. And then for everybody else, we do the simple one. Now let's do the thing where we recognize duplicates. Get or put p.gpa, key being ID. And so we do if p dot on existing, then we need to error out. And then we need to do gop dot value ptr dot star equals n. There we go. And we kind of want to do the same thing below. Right, this is gop for existing. Okay, so if we did find it existing, how do we report errors? How do we do errors in here? P.add error. There you go. Range. Huh. Yeah, that's indeed a good question. And then kind, duplicate ID. So we want to add the error and then kind of return, in a sense. We don't want to do the side effect if there was an error. So how do we get a range though? Man, it's been a while since I used this code base. Yo, Matt. Hello. Hey, embedded boy. It's been a while. Oh, we can do dot range on an element, on a node. We can do dot range. That is convenient. Not bad past myself. That's not bad at all. So we can do n dot range. There's no duplicate ID. Oh yeah, but we can add it. Okay, so with this, in theory, we should now be recording correctly IDs of everything. And, well, you know what? Let's just try it out. So now this should not error out anymore. Now it should correctly find test as an ID. Let's fucking go. So it finds a link to test. And that correctly tries to send us to this link. The problem is that there's not enough space below to really scroll us all the way down. So this works. And now let's cause an error. Duplicate ID. Syntax error found in a content file. Holy shit, it's even treated as a syntax error. Like, that is brutal. Yeah, that's a duplicate ID. I guess we could do better than just linking the entire thing, but I mean, I think it's clear enough. We could definitely do better than this. Like, we could totally, absolutely do better than this, but this is a starting point. Okay. So, that is indeed perfect. Undo all weird changes, undo all weird changes. So now we are really in business with this change, like fully implemented. The Mason thing. The Mason thing, huh? I think that the Mason thing is not gonna be able. I'm not gonna fit it in this release. I don't want to do that now. This is a good report, but I'm gonna leave this for the next release. But what other issues do we have here? Oh, this is just something to reply to. This is some work that needs to happen for Git stuff to properly work. Is this Nuja best? I don't know. Is it Jets, Hip Hop, Lofi, Rain, Umbrella, Emoji, Life Begins After Coffee? stuff. So it doesn't say what songs it plays. Okay, also, branch path on Windows, I think this is fine. Oh no, this is computing a rel path. Oh, but this is just for reading stuff. Yeah, I don't know. I think this is fine. So here's the problem. So this contributor implemented Git info availability inside of build. The problem is making the information available there doesn't automatically wire in correctly data dependencies, so that Zine knows that whenever, like, if you use $build .git whatever, then Zine should know that that page that tried to access $build now depends on what $build says. So so to make that work correctly, we basically need to take the Git info, write it on a cached file every single time, and use that file as an input to the layout executable. It's the only way. So we need to change basically some of the work that was done in here. Let's go do that, because otherwise we're going to release this feature in a somewhat half-baked way. So how do we do this? In layout, I think, is where the story begins. Sergio Chiaro. Sorry if this is kind of random, but would you recommend learning Zig if my interest is data science, data engineering? For Rust was an easy yes due to some packages such as polars written in Rust, and that the interoperability between Python and Rust was really okay. Is that the case with Zig? Thanks in advance. But honestly, I'm okay. That's my personal opinion. So how can I say? I don't want to make too strong of a statement, but holy shit. Sorry, I need to fix my bork. That's on me. So would you, is Rust a good thing to learn if you're into data science? Honestly, I'm not immediately convinced that it's a good idea. I guess you said data engineering, not wait, what did you say? You said data science / data engineering. Okay. So from a pure data science perspective, learning Rust doesn't seem particularly core. Not bad, but not something super valuable, I would say, because if you're doing data science, then you're probably using Python, you're doing data wrangling. You might be using polars, but I'm guessing you use polars through Python. So, by the way, correct me if I'm wrong, but my expectation is that you don't really have to touch lower level stuff if you're doing data science. If you're doing data engineering, then technically data engineering is also about productifying data analysis pipelines. So a data scientist wrote a shitty Python script / Jupyter notebook or something of that kind, that even though it's very shitty from a software engineering perspective, is it is implementing the interesting algorithm, while the interesting processing pipeline. So you want to take that thing and make it good software engineering. And so some of that might also imply dropping down from Python to something more low levels, like Rust, polars, whatever. But that's very specialty, right? You don't. I suspect that not a ton of that happens. That said, maybe that's exactly what you're doing, so fair. I would say that if for you really Rust was that good, like you really were doing so much of that productification work that I just described to the point that Rust really was a good bang for your buck, then maybe Zig can also be a decent bang for your buck. If you also have to interoperate with other things like C libraries, C++ libraries, and ecosystems, embedded devices. So it's really niche and mostly doing it for fun. For us, I had a justification and I want to learn Zig. I don't know if there is little value to my job. I personally suspect that if I had to make a very general statement for data engineering, Rust is not particularly interesting, and Zig even less so, because again, on average, you don't do that much. If you happen to be somebody who does a lot of that kind of productification, then it might be more interesting. If you want, probably the best pitch for learning Zig for that kind of use case, I'll give you a link. So there's an AI framework called ZML, and it basically allows you to well, I guess implement basically deep learning pipelines in Zig and interoperate with a bunch of different systems. And basically, I guess mostly thanks to MLIR. So take a look at this talk. If any of this stuff rings a bell to you, then maybe Zig might be interesting for doing this kind of stuff. If this does not, then I would not learn Zig. I would not give a high priority to Zig if your interest is pure data analysis and data engineering. You probably are better off learning, I don't know, what's it called? Research operations, or I don't know, some freaking data analysis algorithm, learning what embeddings are or something. Like you have probably other stuff that should interest you more. That said, even if you do work as a data engineer, that doesn't mean that your life has to be about data engineering. So, for example, you mentioned doing stuff for fun. Man, it is totally fair to do stuff for fun that isn't data engineering, even if you're a data engineer. You know, nothing shameful about wanting to learn software engineering. And if you want to learn software engineering, Zig is a pretty damn good thing to learn, in my opinion. Yeah. Okay. Jay Calabro said something earlier than Borg crashed. I'm sorry, but I do have the message here. So, hey, Loris, I like your blog post about Go's panic recover. I've been writing Go for almost 10 years, and it's by far my least favorite thing about the language, and they definitely smell of exceptions. I have not written Go for 10 years, but I've also done professional Go work for a while in the past. And I probably knew at a point in time how things worked in Go, but still, I did not think about that thing that I presented in that blog post. I don't think I was fully aware about that at the time when I was doing Go, because everything about the language downplays that problem. You don't see many talks like, well, okay, to credit where credit is due. There was at that conference at GoLab, there was one core team guy actually giving a talk on that subject. So it's not like it was, kept as a secret, but it wasn't. I feel like it wasn't. I'm sure that out there are people who have they have bugs in their code base based on that thing, because they don't realize that they have exceptions in their language. Is Zig known for bad build times? It's the only language I used recently that took several seconds to build a basically empty program. Syntax, I can tell you that you might want to try building more programs after the first build, because what happens with Zig is that, normally when you download a compiler, let's say that you download Clang, or probably the same applies also to Rust to some degree. But in any case, when you get a copy of a compiler, it also ships with the standard library, but it ships with a precompiled version of the standard library. So whenever you build a Hello World program, you will still need to link against the standard library, but you have it pre-built already. In the case of Zig, Zig ships with source code. So everything, the standard library, not only the Zig standard library, but also like the C, like glibc and Muscle also in source form. So whenever you run a build for the first time of that kind, Zig will also have to compile the C standard library, the C++ standard library, and basically all this kind of stuff. The first time will take a while because all this stuff needs to be built. Also, but by the way, the reason why we ship source code and it takes a while and we build it on the machine on the fly is because you also get source code for other OSs. So you can also compile the standard library of another OS. Like from macOS, you can cross-compile for Linux. And if you cross-compile for Linux and maybe you target Linux Muscle and you want to statically link Muscle, Muscle will be built for Linux on your macOS machine. So that takes time. The first time you do it takes time, then it's cached and you're good. So keep that in mind. Maybe that's what you experienced. Second thing is right now Zig is it's tough to answer your question about bad build times because well the point is Zig is actually pretty fast at compiling. The reason why you don't see that it's because Zig doesn't have a lot of caching going on yet. Zig is able to cache C compilation units, the C standard library, like C source code, C++ source code, that one gets cached. But Zig source code, that one right now doesn't get cached. Well, the final executable gets cached. So like if you run build twice and nothing changed, then sure, it's going to be instant. But if you change even one thing in a Zig source file, the entire Zig compilation unit gets built again. So every time you build a Zig program, you're also rebuilding the entirety of the standard library, well, the parts of the standard library that you're using, because Zig doesn't have caching. It doesn't have multiple compilation units for Zig code, and so with the ability to cache those, it doesn't work. What we're going for right now is we're basically kind of skipping the compilation unit caching granularity system, and we're going straight for the end game, where the end game is caching granularity at the level of a top-level decal. And that's going to be full incremental compilation. And in use an incremental compilation, Andrew posted something about that. Let's see. CI coverage added for incremental compilation. Over the last few months, myself this is from MLAG, not from Andrew. In any case, myself and Jacob have been working hard on incremental compilation, where the compiler can remember parts of a previous build and only recompile code that changed. We just hit an important milestone here. Our CI test suite now includes our incremental compilation tests. This set of tests is small right now, but will grow rapidly as we fix bugs and eventually fuzz test the implementation. You can find all our incremental compilation tests here. CI runs them on x86-64 Linux with the self-hosted x86-64 backend, as well as on a few targets with the C backend. It's approaching the point where you can start to use incremental compilation in some very basic cases. For instance, I've recently managed to perform an incremental update on Andrew's Tetris clone. If you're using a master build of Zig, this is how you can try it right now, but I think it crashes, blah, blah, blah. Beware though, you will run into bugs pretty quickly, including false positive compile errors and even miscompilations. Use at your own risk. So this is where we are, basically. Thanks for the info. My experience is usually with single unit compilation, C/C++, and it still felt slow on iterative builds. I was on a low power hardware, but that initial build time may have thrown me. So if you're building a bunch of stuff, like if you're doing a union build, well, let me show you, for example. I have, well, Zine, for example, right? So Zine is a Zig program. What should I show you? Okay, Zine is mostly a Zine program, a Zig program. Sorry. So this is a Zig dependency. This is a Zig dependency. Zig dependency. Zig dependency. Zig. 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 No. This. Okay. These are all Zig dependencies. This one, flow syntax. This one is 3-seater. I use 3-seater for syntax highlighting. So this one is for fuzzing. We're not going to use this one right now. So whenever you build a Zig website, we first have to build one executable that does basically parsing of the markdown file and layouting. And building that executable requires building all those dependencies. So the 3-seater one, by the way, is kind of complicated because it's 3-seater plus a long list of grammars that also get built. So let's take a look. I will delete my cache. Which takes a while because it's huge. Okay, and I'm gonna build again. And you will see that here we are building in parallel. You see all these grammars. These are all parsers being built. So if you're doing, for example, if you're doing multiple compilation unit, if you have multiple compilation units, those get built in parallel automatically for you. If you're using a build.zig file and you have your build defined correctly, so that you do get some parallelism there. If you have only one compilation unit, I don't think it's going to be super fast. But also, sorry, I'm talking about stuff. I'm yapping, but here's the core point. If all you're doing is compiling C and C++, know that basically you're not really using anything Zig specific. All you're using is Clang. So Zig orchestrates Clang. So if your point is, I don't know, I have multiple compilation units and I'm annoyed that they don't get built in parallel, they should, depending on how you structure the build script. But you don't really have to do anything weird. Like if you just use the build system correctly, normally you would get parallelism automatically. If you have the system resources also to support that, then that should happen. But then if you're doing a single unit compilation, I don't know. Basically, what all that Zig is doing is invoking Clang and then linking, I guess, and then running our own linker. Our own linker might be slower than LLD currently, but it shouldn't be anything that really changes your perception. I suspect that what you experienced is compiling the C standard library or C and C++ standard library. So let me show you a C project. Okay, this is another project. It's mixed C and C++. Oh fuck, does it even build? Do we build? Okay, so we do build at least. So remove Zig cache. Also, I forgot to do that earlier. Let me remove also the global Zig cache because this one doesn't force. Previously, we did not have to rebuild any C standard library because we had that one cached in global cache. So let's go fix that. I bet you that this bad boy is also pretty big. I'm updating my resume. Are there any Twitter posts or something showing the badge? Good question. There might be. Not a ton though. Yeah, not a ton. I would maybe I would consider maybe taking screenshots from Discord and putting those on your website or something like that. Okay, so I removed all my caches and now let's Zig build. In here, now you can see compiler T, we're building a build script. I'm building my dependencies. Now there's going to be a moment where we build the C standard library and I think also the C++ standard library. Oh, delicious. Here we're building SQLite, a bunch of other things. C++ dependency we're building. My computer is lagging like crazy. libc xx. Let's go. Give me delicious libc xx. So, my day job is normally Unity style C++ builds, but then I tested Zig. It was low for little code. When you say that you tested Zig, did you test Zig through the build system, or did you also, or did you just use Zig CC / Zig C++? That build takes like 4 minutes for me. Wait, which build? I'm not building Zig, by the way. I'm just building another project called D2. Hi, do you have any tips on how to deal with Rust dependencies in Zig projects? Oh my fucking god. Should I download a Rust binary, compile with it? Should I assume it's already installed? Is there already some tuning I can use? So, yeah, that's a fair question. Yeah, I guess a starting point would be use system Rust. So you can do. By the way, my oh my fucking god is because that's I'm sure that's gonna be a annoying type of dependency to have, and complicates the build. So build system. So you can do add system command. So basically, you can create a step where you invoke Rust, and you can also use find. Let's see, build find program. So first you call find program. They have an example usage? No. Okay, so you call find program and you try to find Rust. Maybe you can even give an option to the user to specify where they put Rust, so that they can give you a, like, let's say they don't have it in path, they can give it you a path where to find Rust. So you can use find program to basically make this work. Then you can use add system command to create a run step that builds everything. The problem is add system command. Well, I mean, it works. Yeah, with this you can invoke Rust, and then hopefully Rust does its thing, etc. The problem with this is that you basically will have to invoke Rust every single time, because you can't really track inputs and outputs from it. So it makes your build a little bit worse. A better way of doing this would be that if somebody had packaged Rust for Zig, then you could even add Rust as a dependency that gets downloaded and built by your Zig build script itself. I'm saying it's better in terms of portability and like resilience, because it doesn't depend on any system thing. But obviously the downside is that this thing is probably huge, complicated, depends on a bunch of other shit. So building, you would have, like, I don't know, like you would kind of have to bootstrap Rust or something. So I don't know. I would say start with assume that the system has to have it, and go down that path. I feel like that's the easiest starting point. Oh, just CXX and just C standard library and C++ standard library takes you 4 minutes. Man, I'm sorry. Yeah. Life is hard. To be fair, this is a Mac M2. So do with that info what you will. Go for it, Matt. Well, okay, syntax. Last thing that I can share is that right now Ziga is basically as slow as it will ever be. It's only going to get faster from now downwards. But I don't know what else to say. If you're not touching like your build script and like you're just touching source code and it's slow, I don't know, man. It's Clang. Like it's literally Clang. Does Zig have FP concepts? Yes, it has functions. How about that? I would say that if you want functional programming concepts, you should look into a functional programming language. Functional programming is, well, maybe I cannot make a universal statement about the totality of functional programming, but the things that people tend to want to do with functional programming is not a particularly good fit with systems programming most of the time. Closures suck. They're bad. I don't know. Map filter reduce. It's kind of bad. It's convenient, that's for sure. But that's not how you want to express things when you're doing lower level programming. It's just a different way of looking at this stuff. So my recommendation is to do the opposite. If you're combining functions, yeah, you can combine functions. You make another function, and inside that function, you call the previous two functions. That's how you combine functions. The thing is, I'm not trying to say that functional programming is bad. It's not. And if you're using a higher level programming language, go nuts with it. Go nuts. One liner, 5 symbols, implement the fucking Y Combinator, and enjoy recursion coming out of nowhere. But if you're doing lower level programming, you want to empty your teacup and go for a different flavor. Like trying to search for more of what you're used to in you know, coming to Zig and asking for functional programming coming to Zig and asking for functional programming features in a systems programming language like Zig, it's kind of like coming to Italy, getting into a restaurant and asking for a cheeseburger. God damn it. Why is Borg crashing so much? You know what? I think this size of the window is probably weirdly problematic for it or something, because it normally doesn't crash this much. That's sad. Sorry, that's kind of embarrassing actually. I haven't been paying attention to Borg for a while now because it was kind of working, but I should probably get back to it. Let's see. I really like the autodocs feature in Zig. Like, how can I have an overview and browse the code base? But yesterday I got annoyed with code like const foo, comp time flag, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. I can't click browse into the file like everything else, which defeats the ease of exploring the code base. You know, if there's any way to get around this, I would need further development in Autodocs to do some comp time reflection. Yeah, Autodoc right now cannot do any comp time reflection. So that's why it's unable to resolve certain things. Now, it should probably, the fact that it doesn't link a nested import, that actually should be fixable. Like, it's probably a minor thing that's making that not work. So it would totally be fixable soon. But more in general, Autodoc doesn't understand comp time. If you want, my suggestion is for a like general purpose way of learning more about the Zig code base, check this out. So you clone Zig, you go inside lib/std, and now you're in the standard library. And now you open std.zig, and now you're in the root file. And now you can do, if you have like an LSP, you can do go to definition on everything. Go to definition on this guy, on this file. Offset or remove, go to definition. Patch remove, go to definition. You can even do this, space search. And I want to know what kind of normalization exists in Zig. Let's see. You know what? Function. Function that does normalization. We have normalized path inside of tar, normalize inside range decoder, normalize path inside Windows. By the way, this is a very shitty search that I'm doing, but just to show you that you can search and you can go to definition on the source code, and the source code, like there is no real reason for you to treat the docs as the bottom of how deep you can go. The docs are not the ultimate truth. The source code is the ultimate truth, and you have access to it, and it's just as readable as the docs, if not more in some ways. So you have everything in there. Let me share you a link. No, wiki. So yeah, go ham. Go read the source code. Like I remember back when Zig didn't even have Outdock, that we would tell people, read the source code. And some people would go insane over this. And they wouldn't phrase it like this, but they would basically say, how dare you expect me to read the source code? Man, it's your fucking job to read the source code. If you're a software engineer, reading source code is your job. You should, like, your job should be, I don't know, 70% of the time read source code, 30% write source code. Any other mix that is more skewed toward writing is bad. So even 70-30 might not be a good enough split in favor of reading. So get used to it. And I know that people are not used to it. I know that everywhere you need docs. Without docs, then it's almost like there's nothing there. And I'm not saying that docs are, universally unnecessary or whatnot. Not at all. Not at all. Autodoc is convenient, but you can get so far by reading the source code. And of all types of source code that is worth reading, the standard library of the programming language that you're using is up there in the top 3 things that you should be very intimately familiar with. Not all the Zig standard library source code is immediately trivially understandable, but the vast majority of it is. And it's just good for your health. Go read the standard library source code. And get yourself a decent setup where you can go to definition. There are papers about making functional programming ways into systems programming since 1970s. Yeah, that's great. I don't know how much you should trust people that write papers to give you advice about systems programming. Not all that they say is wrong, of course. But the fact that there is a shitty paper out there talking about this stuff, I don't know. It's not immediately something worth buying into. But man, by the way, you know what? Don't listen to me. If you want systems programming if you want functional programming in systems programming, go use Rust. Have fun. You can have all this stuff. You can have lambdas. You can have MapReduce. You can have all pattern matching. You can have all that funky shit. Enjoy. Zig just doesn't have that. So let's do some work now. We need to add an argument to our main layouting executable. I'm going to put it here, I guess, after args22. I guess. We're using anything else? Any other thing that is parameterized? Yeah. git info path. There we go. So now we have a git info path. We expect git info path. So we'll need to provide this to the executable. And then we need to understand where to wire this shit. So somewhere we initialize build. Locale this, locale that, cache, init all, site, init, blah, blah, blah. There we go. Here we do build.init, and we do stuff in build.init. But this stuff shouldn't live inside build.init. This is called context.git, git.init. Right. And git.init is doing stuff. Okay. Okay, so these are all functions that operate basically on local state. Init was setting all the local state. In this case, we're going to need to have something different. We basically will need to parse, I guess, the local state from a file. Probably also this should go here. I'm guessing. Okay, let's go back into the build script now. And let's do the git thing. So scan causes all the scanning to happen, which then ends in add all steps. And I think we're just gonna need to add a path there. Yeah. Okay, so scan gets called, index their path, index their. Wait, where's the? Do we not do caching? Oh, we just do it. Index their path. Oh. Cache root handle make open path. Oh, I see. Build time assets makes directory A for assets, makes TK for translation keys, PS for parent section index, S for subpages. Okay, we basically want another path here. We want a, well, it doesn't even have to be a path, to be honest. It's a single file, so we could just create a single file directly in there without making subpaths. I guess we could do it here, basically. We could just call collect git info. We give it index directory. And then we implement it. But that should give us a path, should it not? Oh, you know what? Actually, if the path is static, maybe we don't even need to pass it around. Let's see. Do we have a cache? Index their path. Well, we do have index their path. So you know what? Maybe we don't need another path. We construct it ourselves manually. Okay. Let's go implement collect git info. Okay, and in here we want to use the git stuff. Okay, Git wants an arena. Interesting. SCD, oh no. So this cannot be like this. I guess we need to go upwards and try to find a Git going upwards. And the first Git we find is the Git that we care about, but it's not even CWD. That has to be relative to where the files are. So we need to pass in a path of some kind, like some kind of project path. But then what is the arena for? I guess it's for allocating strings, maybe, or reading files. Yeah, then that makes total sense. Right. Okay. Okay, GPA, and then we do path. Maybe a writer to write to. Oh no, you know what? Okay, let's return a Git. Hmm. It's annoying because we definitely need to do this from a different process. And we definitely need to pass around some of this information as paths to a file. So what I'm thinking is maybe this could be phrased as serialization, deserialization. Like we serialize one of these guys. We serialize one of these guys and then we deserialize it basically. Like init literally tries to deserialize it from a file, and we use Ziggy as the serialization protocol. At the end of the day, this guy has Ziggy serialization and deserialization, I believe. Do you not? Yes, you do. There's format HTTP. Yeah, look at it. So we have Ziggy, the ability to parse and serialize and deserialize at daytime with Ziggy. Everything else is just a string, basically. Yeah, no reason not to go for it. Probably doesn't even require us to do anything. Okay, so let's make it produce a Git. Okay, so we have a path, and now Git there. We need to make this a more complicated thing. So const Git there equals while true. Or you know what? Don't even give me a path. Give me a dir. Yeah, give me a directory to start from. So while true, yeah, we try to open .git. And then we error out if it's not found. the problem is that we need to go up, right? So maybe we can't like there is not good enough because we need to go up to the parent. So we need a path. That's annoying. Hmm. Okay, let's go do it, man. What a pain. Maybe. No, I just need a path, and then we do CWD open path absolute, and then we always pop like a component from that path. Yeah. I think that to close the dir, this needs to be var, unfortunately. So we open a dir, and then we say, okay, does that dir contain git? If it does, success. Otherwise, like if we get error dot not found, for example, it's not called not found. It has a different name, but let's assume that we do get that error. If it's not found, then here's what we do. We need to mutate path, right? Or rather, we need to mutate P. We need to pop a component from P. So what do we have in there? Join, parse path, disk designator, resolve windows, POSIX, their name. Oh, there we go. Strip the last component from my file path. If the file path is a file in the current directory, then returns null. If the path is the directory, then returns null. There we go. So we do P equals p.their name, or else return git. So if we got all the way to the root and there's nothing anymore, then well, fuck, we tried, so we can return. Other errors are more complicated. Other errors are definitely more complicated. But this is fine. Okay. Repo through. Read head. Blah blah blah. I think everything else should be mostly fine. Okay, we're only missing built-in, and then the git definition. What is built-in for this guy? Oh, okay. Okay, now what do we do with the git? So we could try to access this file from there, but it's not going to work. Oh man, there's also date time. Yeah, that is indeed interesting. How do we do this? I guess we can create another struct that has the same shape. That's one thing that we can do for sure. Then what about date time? Can I do this? Seems that we can. Let's fucking go. So this should work in theory. What's the timestamp though? Oh, what was the argument? This guy was the argument. Oh, we don't need a label. Okay. So this should work. Okay. So we want to do it like this. Right, we need some kind of allocator, and then we need to give it a path. So the path that we were given, assuming that it's good. And then we want to open a file. So dir dot create file. Git.ziggy. Flags. Let's go find out what the flags are. I think we want truncate to be true. Yeah, exclusive. No. No, we just want to truncate it. I think that's it. Okay, so we have a file. Then we need to serialize Git using Ziggy. That's one thing that we need to do. But this is not all there is to it. So this thing can return errors. But also, what do we do when there is no error? Return a default Git that says that we're not in a repo. I mean, that's totally fair. Okay, so this is good. Okay. Now, how do we write stuff to Ziggy normally? How do we serialize that? We don't do a lot of that in this code base, I think. Do we have Ziggy? At least we do have Ziggy. Okay. Serialize. Stringify. Okay, we need to go deeper. No definition found? Come on, man. Really? Okay. What do we get in here? We do have Stringify. God damn it. Value options and writer. And I think about it, it's project.allocator, not GPA. Okay, Ziggy wants the value, options, and a writer. No Oh, it's catch unreachable, I guess, for this one. Okay, so this writes the thing there, and then we do f.write all. Okay, so this should be it. The only thing that we're missing is path. Do we have some kind of path? We definitely have a path that we get at some point, like a project path. I think it's this guy. Cache route. It's not just that one, though. Build route. There we go. Project build route. That's what we want. Yeah, that works. Actually, maybe we can make this not even return an error by removing the last try. Okay. So this should collect the git information and save it. In theory, let's I don't know, let's call this bad boy and see what happens. There we go. Expected 3 arguments found 2. Oh yeah. Dot path. No field member function open there. Wait, what? Oh, instead of git. In error this, error that. Huh. Okay, wait a second. Yeah, that's a fair point. File not found. Not there. Access denied. File not found. No field identifier function. Their name. Inconsuate. Oh, right. Incompatible types. There and void. Right. Format without a specifier. Oh, that's definitely one of my errors. Accelerated type on const. Yeah. Oof. Values of type pointer to a function. What? Wait a second. What are you talking about? These are all strings. And oh no, I get it. Zine.instant. Right. 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 I think this can be like this. Right. Or no, never mind. This can be just a number. Okay, there we go. So we survived the first pass. 3 the cache Zine. We should have Git. There we go. In repo true, commit hash, blah blah blah, commit date, commit message, author name, author email, tag, null, branch main. There we go. We're good. So we have successfully saved this information in a file. Now we need to do the other half of this thing, which is load it correctly. So loading it correctly means that when we call build.init, we need to pass something. The data. Do we have a dir that we can use for this? Like, do we open build root out file? So this is an open dir. Build root is an open dir. That's good. But what about the index dir path? Is index dir path open for us? Seems not. Hello, Bagdorn. So we have read file. Oh, we have some Ziggy parsing logic. Having side issues? No, not at all. Don't worry. It's my weird build system setup that causes it makes it a little bit hard for me sometimes to use certain types because certain types are not as easily available at build time. So Zide is available at build time, but I have a wrapper around it, and that one is not available at build time. But it's all good. So at this point, I would probably parse all the Git stuff here. Yeah. We have the index dir path, but we really don't have any dir for it at all. We open build root, and then we keep reading file off of build root. Yeah, we need to do the same with the other guy. Oh, whatever. All right, so this should work. You just need to make build accept git as an input. Oh, this guy was the only one that required an arena. Well, guess what? Okay, now the question is, will they time, how does it deserialize? Does it expect a number or a string or what? Oh, fuck, it wants a string. It wants a at? Are you serious? Oh, man, are you serious? Fuck. I guess we can add a number. Code diagnostics from ZLS, or is the incremental compiler far long enough to replace it? Code diagnostics that you're seeing are from ZLS indeed. Incremental compiler is nowhere near that point yet. There's still some road to go. Custom backends need to become a thing more than they are now. Right now, custom backends, the only custom backends that work are the C backend, so compiling Zig source code to Zig, Zig source code to C. x86 64 Linux backend, so that one also works. I think it's like almost there. But for example, I'm on ARM, and ARM isn't implemented fully yet. It's, I don't know, stuck somewhere at like 60% or something. Once those are in place, then we can start working. We can start talking about making them incremental. I mean, some work to make them incremental is already happening, so it's not going to be, oh, now we need to tear down everything again and rebuild it again for incremental. No, but yeah, but we're not fully there yet. So this thing is annoying. The fact that we don't support numbers is annoying. And actually, no, you know what? I don't want to change this because then it will make us support numbers where I don't want to support numbers. So we need to complicate the serialization aspect. So commit date. Can we make this a Ziggy literal? Does Ziggy have like literals? Tag. I guess I would need to hack this guy. Hmm. Now, you know what? We do commit date maybe to a string. Will that work? That maybe should work, right? No, I won't because it wants the add data around it. That's on me. I've never really fixed this stuff and now it's biting me. They have the diagnostic on the same line but on the right. Well, if I'm in normal mode, they go down. If I'm in insert mode, they stay in line. Like how can I say? They're not gonna mess my thing. I changed that in the settings. Is this one? Cursor line error, other lines disabled. Yeah, I guess we can do it like this. Temporus, hello. Welcome back. Okay, Ziggy options. Now, maybe we can look at the stringify, not this one. I think daytime maybe has something for us. Yeah, this part. Let's see, stringify, value, no. Value is, oh, the problem is that this is not gonna write it correctly either. What a fucking pain in the ass, man. What a fucking pain in the ass, man. It is so on me. It is so on me. God damn it, man. Like, I guess I can make a date in here. And then... And then format it as a string or something. What a mess. What a mess we made. I'm trying to think if there's like a more elegant way of getting this done without like overhauling everything. But there, I can't find any. I really cannot find any. Because I want it to be a daytime there. And so I need to stringify it as one. Yeah. Okay, let's do it. I guess it's time that has the formatting. Dan, hello Dan. How's life? I think it's been a while. Um, are you still playing? Are you still doing stuff with the Playdate? Where's the wait? Where's the formatting code? I know it exists. You can't gaslight me. So this is Go FMT. It's called. Oh right. Okay. So yeah, you do need to make a time, and then you call Go FMT on it. Okay. Do you need to try to call time? No. Actually, recently brushed off an old puzzle game. Nice. Saw a video recently where someone was writing a Playdate game in Zig. Makes me even more tempted to get one. Dan has been doing a bunch of Zig work on the Playdate, and he has a like an SDK um, to be able to use Zig, or at least he used to. I don't know if he's maintaining it still, so he can, I guess, tell us in chat. But yeah, you still are nice. Do, 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 do. So I guess we want. So we want day, month, year. Oh, it's the opposite. It's year, month, day, t, and then time. Okay, is this something that we need to try? Well, no, we need to pass in more arguments, don't we? The writer, understandably. Right, the stringify has a lot of problems and it only expects out of memory. Invalid format, invalid, unhandled format, invalid character. No space left. That one is interesting. So yeah, this is not a try. This is a, I guess, catch unreachable. Go FNT returns all those other options. No space left. Huh. Expected type. Found error set. There. Okay, it seems to be working. Let's see if the data, the Git data is parsed and like preserved correctly. So let's take a look first of all at the files. Yeah, that looks okay. Oh, let's see. I was actually also starting to play around with Zig fuzzing, but my disappointment, it is not for Mac yet. Let me think. From the Meta report, anyone saying that it shouldn't be too hard to get working. I was trying to get working, but no such luck yet. So I don't know exactly what the state of these things is for Zig native, and it's obviously gonna get better. But in my case, what I've been able to do is use AFL to fuzz. So if you want to take a look, it's not very polished yet. So you know what? I would say take a look, but only if you're interested in maybe pinging me to ask questions on how to do things and why something doesn't work so that I can unblock you. Not this one. But I have this. I have Zig AFL kit. The reason why this is not fully polished yet is because I wanted to get it to the end stage where we use Zig for for instrumentation instead of relying on having LLVM on your computer. So okay, let me start from scratch. Let me start from the beginning. So to get fuzzing working, you need to instrument your executable first, and second, run it in a fuzzer. Instrumenting is what allows the fuzzer to observe code coverage, but also there's like an extra part of instrumentation that basically allows your executable to be run in a harness by the fuzzer so that it can, you know, be run a bunch of times and be provided input. Now, AFL is one of those. AFL can do instrumentation basically by using Clang. It basically uses Clang. Like if you get AFL on your system, AFL++, by the way. I keep calling it AFL, but the full name is AFL++. Actual AFL is an obsolete project. AFL++ replaced it. But for simplicity, I'm going to keep calling it AFL. So if you get AFL building on your computer, like you get AFL++ building on your computer, then you have all the AFL toolkit and you can get everything working. What does AFL kit offer you? AFL kit offers you basically some build system utility functions. It mainly offers you this, afl.add_instrumented.exe. So what that does is it adds afl.c to your completion thing with all the harness stuff implemented for you, so that all you have to do is implement you have to implement these guys. zig fuzz init and zig fuzz test. You implement these two guys and you should be good to go. Now, for instrumenting the executable, you could use the AFL++ provided toolchain, but the goal would be to get rid of that. The goal would be to not even need this and instead have Zig provide the instrumentation. And Zig is capable of doing that. It's just like all very work in progress. So take a look at Zig AFL kit. It's not fully polished, unfortunately. I'm sorry, because it's still like a little bit waiting for Zig to get somewhere so they can finally like polish everything. But if you fiddle around with it, you can make it work. And I can tell you that it works for me because I actually use it in a couple of projects. So if you look at, for example, Scripty, if you look at Scripty depends on it. And in source, I have a fuzz folder. Well, I have fuzz.zig. Fuzz.zig, let me see. Fuzz.zig. Oh, this is like just a main function. That's a shitty main function. It's not for us. AFL.zig, I think it's the interesting one. Yeah, look at it. This implements zig fuzz test and zig fuzz init. So this is an example of a project that has the integration going on. It has the integration going for it. The way it works is you need to pass defuzz. There's an option called defuzz to generate the executable for fuzzing. And I think that defuzz also calls ZigAFL kit to build the fuzzing tooling as well. You know what? We can actually test this. I think this should fail right now. Yeah. Okay, some part of building AFL succeeded, some of it failed. Why? Test value from what? Fuzz context dot expected to arguments found one. Oh shit! Wait, never mind. These are my. Okay, so AFL succeeded. It's my fuzzing code that hasn't been updated to latest stuff. Okay, so let me tell you the last part. Zig AFL kit then gives you this, but it also tries to build AFL for you. Maybe you want that, maybe you don't want that. You will find that there's like switches to enable or disable this stuff. There's an AFL++ implementation, package in all your code base. So you can use this thing to build AFL++ for you. Look at the options because you still have some system dependencies that you need to give this bad boy, like let me think. So first of all, if you want to build the tooling for compiling, there's a flag that you have to pass, I think. And then there's a flag to specify where is LVM config. Like this thing really wants LVM config. So long story short, get yourself AFL++. We have it packaged, or you can use the original one if you can make that work for you. Once you have that, you can use AFL kit to give you the integration, and then you can run that inside the fuzzer. If you have questions, look at my projects, because Scripty, well, you know what, look at Scripty. Scripty is probably the best one to look at for this kind of integration. And then if something doesn't work, ping me on Discord, and I'll be happy to help you. End of story. Do you think there should be a zig clean command to automatically delete zcache and zig directories? I think that Zig should have an automated garbage collection like system where basically when you try to run a build, it also has a chance or something to scan your cache folder and clean it up. That I think should totally be there. A command to delete Zig out, I don't think that's interesting. Or rather, technically, there should be a Zig uninstall command. So like you just have, when you run Zig build, you're implicitly running Zig build install, and that builds your project and installs it in a output folder. We normally keep these folders like very self-contained, but that doesn't have to be like this. In theory, actually not only in theory, like in by design, you should be able to do Zig build -p and then point at like your system bin directory where all your binaries are. And so you put inside bin all the things that you build from Zig. That's how Zig compilers and like package managers and company kind of do it. The problem is install will install stuff, but then Zig will not know what to take out if you try to uninstall. There is no I think I don't know if the uninstall command is just straight up not implemented, like not even existing, or if it is if it exists and it just gives you an error. But right now Zig doesn't know how to do uninstall, so that would be nice to have probably. Okay, so we were saying, did we actually succeed? So the file contains correct information. Is AFL++ also what you use to fuzz test your Super HTML parser? Yes. The example that you saw me do at the talk was AFL++. Yes. Zig has its own implementation that's coming for all this stuff. It's just not quite ready yet. Congrats on being in the register. Thank you. Yeah, I have. Is it that big of a thing? Is it like, is the register famous? That famous? I'm sorry, this is like me being ignorant. I don't know things. I mean, because I've, occasionally my stuff has been featured on websites, but, there's a lot of websites that try to act as news and they're not all that interesting, if I have to be honest. But I feel it's slightly less famous than Ars Technica. Okay. But still a legitimate, like, news outlet. That's cool. By the way, for people who don't know what he's referring to, it's this. Super HTML is here to rescue from syntax errors, and it's free and open source software. Arthur would like to see a switch back to plain old static HTML. Us too. I mean, I don't think that everybody should switch to basic HTML no matter what. But I do think that there's a lot of websites that are way more complicated than they should be, especially blogs. Your site would say more famous than Ars Technica. Interesting. So in any case, this was their blog post. So developer Loris Crow reckons his LSP language server for HTML is a world first. It is. And that the absence of such tools up to now has had grave consequences for the web. Well, it's not like, if all it was is tracking, that is, you know what, that would even be fine for me. The worst is that it's not that. It's much worse. It's normal users who don't know how to program, that want to have a website of some kind, which is a legitimate need. And then, while in theory we could give them the ability to create simple static websites, like as an industry, we could make that easy enough so that they do that. We don't do that. Instead, we make them use WordPress and other CMSs. So now what could totally have been a dead simple static website, now it's Apache or Nginx or whatever the fuck, plus PHP, plus MySQL or Postgres or whatever, plus a Redis, because then the moment that the WordPress blog gets any kind of popularity, it starts becoming slow as fuck. Also because then users install like weird ass extensions that keep hammering the database over and over. And so then you need accelerators that use Redis to kind of undo some of the insanity that was brought in by those extensions. And that's basically the only thing that normal users have access to most of the time, which is kind of dumb. In any case, this was this is what the register had to say. If anybody's interested. Okay, let's use some of our Git stuff here, and let's see if it gives us what we need. Let's see if it gives us the right nutrients. But we cannot access Git from a content file. We need to go into template. Text, and we do $bill.git dot, I don't remember what was in there. Give me the commit message, and then we do the date. The date was the most sensitive thing. Okay. Let's see if this works. It works. This works indeed. Hello, I see Ice Q4. Thank you for stopping by. Okay, so this works. Let's do the date. Commit date. This should complain because we are not formatting it. Yeah, we need to format it. Let's do format HTTP out of laziness. Yeah. That is the correct date. So we're good. Okay, there's only one last thing that we need to do. So the idea is the moment you call into the Git function, we need to register a dependency on that file. That's the remaining piece. So the idea is when on build, you ask for Git in this function. Oh man, the fact that this thing looks like this shows that somebody was not using a good auto formatter, huh? There we go. Okay, here we need to add a dependency on that file. Now, how do we add dependencies on things? How do we add dependencies on things? How are we supposed to add dependencies on things here? Context. In context, we have asset find, we have asset collect, we have page find, page get, site get. We have a bunch of externs that do some of this stuff for us. Do we really not have the ability to add a dependency on something directly from here? Hmm. Okay, let me look at how we do that in cache. Hmm. Basically, we have a depth writer. We should probably just give a depth writer to build. I think that is the solution. Yep. Just give it a depth writer. Oh, this is such a nice abstraction that was added for me. Nice. So we give it a depth writer. Which now the type of we need to figure out. Where is it implemented? Oh, inside exists layout depth writer. Yeah, that's fair. That's where we were using it up until now. I don't think I can import stuff from build though. Oh no, wait, it's in source actually. No. Oh, layout. Okay, and then write prereq. Right, and we need the git file path. That's basically how it should be. Thanks for the review and recommendations. You suggested me that day about Zig3. Just today, Zig3 reached 100 stars on GitHub. Nice. Well, nice that it's working for you. Looking forward to see people getting some use out of your work. I think that the idea of making it populate itself automatically by scanning GitHub is a winning idea. I think that registries that require people to do manual work to register their stuff have, I'm going to say, well, they basically have friction that people just don't want to do. I'm trying to assert that a pointer is not undefined by using different than undefined. Yeah, that doesn't work. You cannot test something for equality using undefined. Dax undefined is for letting a variable temporarily be dirty. In debug mode, undefined will set a value to your variable, but keep in mind that that value will be impossible to distinguish from a normal value. So, you know what? Let me start again from scratch. I'm sorry, guys. I've been thinking about this Zine stuff, and I'm so bad at giving explanations. Let me start from scratch. When in Zig, when you say that something is, I don't know, a number, so const foo equals u size, well, type u size, okay, this thing is a u size, or you know what, simpler, u8. This thing is 8 bits, nothing more, nothing less than 8 bits. So this guy has bits that can be flipped to represent numbers 0 to 255. Hello, Anne. Welcome. It doesn't have space for anything else. If you set it to undefined, then in debug mode, these bits will be set to 10101010. So it will be set to a value that can be visually easy to recognize in a debugger. That's also 0xAAAAA. But this is it. So you cannot test for equality with undefined. Technically, in debug mode, you can, but at the same time, hey, Anne, thank you for the raid. Yeah, you did it right, if that was your intention. Thank you. Thank you very much. Welcome, everybody. So a byte in Zig only has 8 bits in it. Those 8 bits can be flipped around to represent numbers. When you are in a debug build, setting a byte variable to undefined will put a bit pattern on it that is meant to be easy for you to recognize in a debugger. Basically, if you're debugging something and that something has value AAAAA or 010101, depending which numeric format you're looking at, then you should be suspicious of. But keep in mind, this is just one legitimate value for this thing. In non-debug mode, undefined means do nothing. Undefined means leave this memory to whatever value it was before. Depending on where that memory is coming from, then you will have different behavior. Sometimes you will get zeroed memory. Some other times you will get completely dirty memory. Like you will get some random bytes because that data, maybe this byte was previously part of a string. And so this value will be the letter that happened to be there before, and now you're trying to use it as a number. So you cannot test for equality with undefined. Undefined is meant to be a temporary state that you give to a variable while you wait for it to be initialized. And it is a programming error to leave it undefined and then try to branch on it. If you have a pointer that can be somehow invalid, you should use null. Or in any case, you can't just put an assert. You need to do something different. You need to use tooling like Valgrind to basically catch you leaving stuff undefined and then trying to access it. This is very different from, say, I don't know, JavaScript. JavaScript undefined is a thing. It's its own value. It's its own freaking object. But in Zig, undefined is kind of by definition undistinguishable from a quote unquote normal state of the variable. But or rather, maybe there are some variables that could not have that bit pattern for other reasons, but still don't test for that kind of equality. That's not how it's meant to be used. Okay, so we write the prerequisite, but now we need get data path. Should release safe catch that without need for Valgrind? No. Release safe does not do that. Setting stuff to undefined is, it's kind of on you. You opted to do that. And the meaning is literally leave this memory untouched. I could imagine maybe one future where debug mode could catch that kind of stuff, but certainly not release safe. Release safe is not meant to do that kind of, it wouldn't be a release. Like that's the kind of error that you should be able to catch with your tests. So it's technically an error that shouldn't make it to release. Okay, we need the git data path. So we go into layout and we pass it in. But what's git data path? Oh, it's this guy. Index their path and git looks. Okay, we should have implemented everything. Let's see. File exists in multiple modules. Fuck. You know what? I'm gonna cheat on this one a little bit. Here's what I'm gonna do. In build init, do I even have Zine in here as a thing? Oh, I do have Zine. So you know what? The solution for this would be to just make this part of Zine. Nah. Here's how I'm gonna cheat. Oh, fuck, I can't because I need the type. God damn it. Okay. Let's see. I should learn more about the release safety story. Is there a concise description of what the end goal is, or is it distributed across issues, milestones? No, the documentation explains that. But release safe is a release mode where out of bound access in arrays is caught, where I believe, so it's like out of bounds. Actually, I think it's mostly out of bounds. Well, it's okay. There are some things that come from the language itself. Like in release safe mode, you will get some checks from the language itself. I think it's overflows and out of bound checks. Yeah. So it's these two guys. But more interestingly, you can use comp time reflection to observe what is the expected optimization level for a given build, and so you can use that to enable or disable things. For example, it's out of bound checks, overflow checks. But here's another one. In release safe, I believe you keep also asserts. So asserts also run in release safe. While if you do release fast, I believe asserts don't run, out of bound checks don't run, overflow checks don't run. So you get more performance. you don't get those. Safety checks enabled, slow compilation speed, large binary size, reproducible build. Okay. Does it say even more for this stuff? Probably you need to check the undefined behavior section. That probably tells you what it catches and it doesn't catch. Yeah. So go under undefined behavior and see how these things are shaped. Okay, I was hoping to cheat, but I couldn't. I cannot cheat because I need to save this bad boy in here. Okay. So depth writer, blah, blah, blah. Guess we need to move this guy away from here. Yeah, now I need to get access to the writer from here. Okay, let's see if we succeeded. Unable to load the writer in cache 8. No field name git data path. Fair point. Actually, is it? I mean, it has to, but oh yeah. Yeah, that's it. We did it. That's literally the entirety of it. Okay, so we succeeded. It's time to cut a release. Okay, with this, we have dependency tracking on that stuff. So let's get ready. I'm messing around, possibly pushing it to things it shouldn't. Question, are there any allocators valid at comp time other than stack-based arena allocators? No, currently not. There is a uh, there is an interest in having compile time comp time allocators working. There are ways of making it work as a, how can I say, generally speaking. There was like an issue where somewhat recently Andrew commented on, where basically the allocator could, uh, let me be a bit hand wavy, but the allocator could basically create a new global variable with the new allocation, and then those things would get correctly garbage collected by the compilation process, meaning that like if you realloc, then the old one will probably still bloat your compilation, but then it would get cleaned away from the final executable. That said, this is not currently working. And your point about pushing it to do things it shouldn't, you're probably not wrong. You're probably getting there if you need a comp time allocator. I'm sure that there are like totally legitimate use cases, but be careful. Think of comp time as spice. Like you want some spice, not a ton of spice. Okay, so let's commit. Well, I guess we need to start by committing supermd. What are we doing here? Uh, correctly add all IDs to the ID map and detect duplicates. Then Zine, patch new supermd. Man, we do have a bunch of changes in here. So what did we do? Like we moved around the Git stuff. We moved around the depth writer. We implemented link ref. Like it's mostly link ref and Git tracking, right? Yeah. Okay. Oh, you know what? Wait. I need to update this stuff. What font is that? It's JetBrains Mono. Okay, so we have this. Let's now use this from here. So let's do zbuild docgen. This should work. This updates the auto-generated documentation, so that worked. Nice. I think we're good. So git tag 0.7.2, I guess. Okay. Zbuild serve. Okay, new release. I think we have a few comments here. Can I see like what are my comments here? Update docs. Oh, older to newest. Oh, that's so nice. Scripting function to generate SRI hash. That's one. Did I really not mention this? Text. Alphabet has section. Yeah, this is new. Okay. So new super HTML scripty built-ins. Uh, do, do, do. Okay, let's go find out this sub resource integrity thing. Thanks, Shardian in 73. Hey, Ninjatron. Hello. Yeah, long time to see. Okay. Ah, let's see. Regarding RSS atom feeds in your Zigtoberfest talk, I use it and love it. And since I don't use any social media platform, that's good for you, Witty Watcher. I do think that there's like you, there's dozens more of people like you. That is to say, there's a few, but not that many. So I genuinely think that it's bad advice to say to people, yeah, use RSS feeds for popularity. But 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 I do think that it is uh, much more feasible, even for people that don't care much about RSS feeds, to set up integration via RSS feeds. Integration, on Discord, on whatever social thing you're using. That's much easier. So Okay, what else is there? Man, the debug build is so slow. Git, link ref, I think, and that's mostly it. No, Git does not highlight mentions at the moment. Sorry. This is like skeleton, I think. Just written weird. That's funny. Okay, I think we're good. I think this was pretty much it. Okay, I think we're good. So we tagged everything. We just need to push the website now. So this stuff has changed. We gained Git. That's good. Link ref. Perfect. Let's just wait for the website to build first. Hey, Steven. So Zine is popping off recently. where where did you see that? Wait, are you talking about Zine specifically, or like the Zine empire? The Did you see the register thing? Were you referring to that one? Like Zine itself, I think it's fine. Some people are using it, and that's good. Yeah, and I feel like that I took a nice break from it, so now I'm kind of regaining the energy to work on it. Like having, what was it like for the last month or so? Like focusing a little bit more on D2 was nice, and I didn't feel like doing much work on Zine, but now I kind of got my D2 fix, so now I can work on Zine more. Not abandoning D2, of course, but um, Zine definitely needs some love, given that people are using it, and that there is so much more to do on it. Jesus Christ. Poor Viru, hello. Yeah, it's nice. I mean, yeah, it's nice as long as you can keep some kind of balance. It would be less nice, because you don't always have energy to work on anything. But in any case, pretty new to Zine, but them using HTML attributes was a terrific design choice. I agree. For whatever that's worth, I agree. I don't understand why the curly blaze stuff gained so much traction. Other than the only explanation that I have in my mind, honestly, is laziness. People had like half-assed implementations of those things. Like the funny thing is that you don't need an HTML parser to implement a curly braced templating language. So I guess that's what helped their proliferation. Okay, so first build of new Zine succeeded. Took a while, but that's what happens when you need to build it for the first time, like a new version. So now we're deploying. We're almost basically done. I struggle with ambitious projects mostly because I lose interest in them, and then it becomes really painful for me to keep working. Yeah, that happened to me as well in the past. I guess it's something that maybe improves as you get older. But also, it's actually very rational behavior from your brain at the end of the day. I think that basically it is not uncommon at all for people to get ambitious ideas in their mind and then in reality not have enough knowledge about the system, the context that they exist in, to really be able to pull that off. Not to say that your ideas are necessarily, thoroughly wrong. Not at all. But there is a lot of things that you need to get right for your thing to make sense, like a lot. Not just core things, but also ancillary things, like secondary things that they need to also make sense. And so you start working on stuff, and then you don't get any perceived return of investment. And then after a while, your brain says, well, you know what, maybe it's more useful to work on something else. The brain is not always right, but at the end of the day, not getting stuck into one wacky idea forever is it's a natural mechanism that exists in your brain for evolutionary reasons. That maybe, I don't know if it's maybe doing anything particularly good for you right now. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't, but it certainly did good things for your ancestors. That's for sure. So I guess my point is that if you want ambitious projects to work for you, my heartfelt suggestion is to work incrementally. Don't start with the horribly, incredibly ambitious stuff. Start with something that is not that ambitious. Do that successfully, and then move to something bigger. Having like a growth, like moving incrementally, is never wrong. Like in life, doing things incrementally, it's really never wrong. So do that. And one other thing that helps is having like a social structure around you. For example, Zine was not made just to be an ambitious project for no reason, right? Just an ambitious but also useless project. It was ambitious but very practical. It was for me first and foremost. So a good chunk of the energy that I put into it was to give myself a better tool for making websites, because I have to make websites all the fucking time. And I didn't want to go through the pain of using Hugo templates anymore. And so I did it first and foremost for me. Then it got to a point where it became good enough that others could try it. And at the same time, it was also kind of solving a problem for them in a similar way. In my case, if I have obviously like objective about it, I'm in a privileged position because I'm in a community where I have a title or whatever that means. So people know me, and so they are willing to try my stuff probably more than they would be willing to try random stuff that they found on the internet. But even if we account for that, the Z community in general is very open to try new things, because as a community, it needs new things. Like I've been trying, I don't know, for example, Rocco Rager was mentioning previously Zite, the datetime library that I'm using. Guess what? He made it. And he made it, I don't know if, I don't remember what exactly was the timeline, but I believe that at least having the ability to use that library also in Zine, because not only him needed it, but also other people, including me, had a need for that, was probably also one of the reasons why Rocco Rager ended up creating that library. So doing things in a social manner is another very good way of getting, of not getting stuck in your ambitious projects. So this is my practical advice. Try to do incremental progress. Try to be social about it. And being social doesn't necessarily mean only sharing the stuff that you make, but also it means trying to be receptive of other people's needs and interests. And you can do that in a mix of altruistic willingness to help others, but also not as altruistic interest in tackling bigger projects and bigger projects. Like you can, quote unquote, use other people's needs to give you a chance to try your hand at something a little bit more ambitious, and knowing that if you succeed and you make something nice, then other people will be interested in it. And then you can scale up. That's kind of the idea. That said, that should not stop you from attempting, some weird stuff. You want to try the weird stuff? Go for it. Like, don't think that what I'm saying is like a reason to say that it is bad to try something crazy. I'm just saying that if you have tried something crazy and you found yourself over time to always lose interest, that kind of stuff, then maybe what I suggested could be a solution to help you get to the finish line. Keep in mind also, like, I have, I don't know, like 3 projects that are big-ish, not that big, small, but the biggest projects that I have on hand right now, none of them is complete. So be aware also of that. Story of my life as someone who has been trying to write an OS for an embarrassingly long time now. Well, I mean, an OS obviously takes forever, but I don't know. As long as you have fun with it, if you like, I guess the point is, if you're not losing interest in it, then that's fine. If you lose interest, all right. If you lose interest in one project, then that I guess that means that's fine. That doesn't mean anything. But if you keep losing interest in things over and over and over, then maybe changing how you approach things could be useful. But if you're doing one project for a long time, whatever, that's fine. If you're having, especially if you're having fun. Let's see. It was a huge need for me, and I didn't see a great solution out there. Yeah. When I wrote Zine, I knew nothing about datetime. Let's go. Nice. Okay, is the website up? Website is up. Sub-resource integrity link works. Issue 73 link works. Issue 77 link works. This one doesn't need, I don't need to thank anybody for this. I did that myself. Okay. Time to get a release. Also on GitHub. And maybe we should tweet about it. I don't know. Is this link working? It is. Okay. And now we wait for... Now we wait for the bot to pick up on the new version of Zine. Okay, that was nice. Oh no, you know what? Oh, there's one last final thread for us. So actually not remembered. I didn't remember shit. I was reminded by others what the problem was. Let me find the right commit. I think it's this one. You know what? Let's open a new tab. Okay, so we can close this. Then, God damn it. Okay, so linking to assets, well, linking to IDs defined in the same content page is a corner case. So we had some false negatives before when linking to non-section IDs. Let's see. I think it could be a person that likes the idea of building something for public usage, but not actually the process of doing so. Yeah. Well, I can tell you that like being the maintainer of a successful project is probably way less glamorous than it might look like uh w- from the outside. And not saying that as a like, oh, from my personal experience, I'm not the maintainer of a hugely successful, of any useful successful, hugely successful project. But even my small stuff, it has a bunch of people that want things and have weird ideas about how things should be implemented in my project, and or have legitimate bugs that they want fixed, understandably, but that requires more work from me. The people are like fucking fuzzers, like fuzzers with legs. Like they always so easily find all the tiny shit that you didn't implement. God damn it! Like Mason here, he's right. Like this stuff should totally be doable. It's just that I never needed it myself, and so I kind of never implemented it. Okay, this is all nice. I think uh, I think we addressed also something else. Let me think. Maybe not. Maybe this is it. Okay, so success. Okay, let's see if we can give good advice. This is add system command. Oh, the fuck is this thing doing? This is expanding these to a bunch of HTML files and then output uno.css. What? Is this like extracting CSS definitions, like style definitions? What does that thing do? I don't remember what build assets look like. Something like this. Okay, so I think we did some good work. Okay, so yeah, we kind of did it. Honestly, I'm happy. It's been a almost 4 hour long stream. We did a bunch of work. It's dinner time. What else can we ask for? So here's what I think I'm gonna do. I'm gonna stop the stream here, and maybe I'll do some more work later in Discord. So if anybody wants to join Discord and chat while I probably work on D2, you know what? For the next stream, here's what I probably should work on. I should work on Super HTML. People have been using Super HTML, and I've not been giving it any love. So yeah, this bug I want to fix. This is a stupid fucking bug that I left in there. That's entirely on me, and I should fix it. I don't know why I haven't fixed it yet. So maybe that's what I should work on next time. So thank you all for hanging out. Let me see if any Zig streamer is live. Don't see any Zig. So yeah, you know what? I'll be lazy and I'm gonna call it a day. Actually, let me just double check. And oh, Uninvestigate is live on YouTube. Is it still live? Is this still live? YouTube. Why can't you tell me? God damn it. It is live. Okay, so I don't have anything for everybody to raid to, but let me share a link. Check this out. This is a Zig stream. Go say hi. So yeah, go say hi, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.